Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. Now y'all got to forgive me today. I'll be talking to you today, but got some workers at my house painting, getting our house painted. They working on the doors today, and the doors out by my office. But this is serious message today. Serious message today. I'm gonna take my time with it, so please listen to it while you cleaning up the house, while you on a long commute. And just really get this in your spirit and hear what I'm telling you and understand that, yes, this applies to you. This ain't just for certain people. This is for you. $1 million worth of insight, and this is worth millions. This is worth peace. This is worth prosperity, happiness, love, joy. This message worth all of that. And this is what I want you to understand. Now, see, in our world, we always have spiritual warfare. There's always going to be spiritual warfare. Everything you see in the media, in the music, is spiritual warfare. It's all good versus evil, and it's all to get you tripped up and turned over one way or the other. I saw a term today that said toxic positivity. And I understand what it means when they say toxic positivity, and really what they talking about is people who they just like, they don't care what you've gone through. They're like, get over it, and they don't care that what you're suffering from, and like, get over it. And they yelling at you, and it's because they've never felt anything. And me personally, I have not felt everything. None of us has felt everything. Now, it's stuff that we've gone through, and it's stuff that we can be angry about. It's stuff we can be down about. But see, here's where things go wrong. Is a person will look at that term, toxic positivity, and then they will use that as to say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I don't need to listen to a message about overcoming, a message about getting back up. I'm going to just stay down right here where I'm at in this depressed state. And I'm going to just stay depressed. And I'm just going to keep struggling. And I'm just going to keep wallowing in this pain because I deserve this. I deserve to feel what I'm feeling. I deserve to be able to continue to be angry. And I remember a lady telling me one time, she said, Tony, I got the right to be angry. I got the right to be angry, and I'm going to stay angry. And I just tweeted about it on Twitter. If you got Twitter, I'm on there, Tony Gaskins. And I just tweeted about it. It's like, look, we all got the right to be angry about something. When the Ku Klux Klan came to my middle school, I remember I had a Caucasian lady friend in college, and we had went to Walmart, and we were standing outside of the car, getting ready to get in, talking. And some white guys drove by in a truck, and they had this song turned up. The song was played on the movie American History X, and it said, and we washed ourselves in nigger's blood. Well, not the word I said, Niggers. And they crunk it up, and they had the little engine revving and turned that song up. Now at that moment, they probably had guns in their car, up there. We in West Virginia, and middle of nowhere, Buckhannon, West Virginia, where I was playing college football. And so I could have been upset, but I remember riding on the highway one time, looked over the highway and said the Confederate flag, saw all the white hoods, the Ku Klux Klan, all the white hoods, and they were standing out in a yard having a meeting when I was in West Virginia. And Ku Klux Klan came to my middle school in Florida, in Arbondale, Florida. So it's things that I done seen, and just looking at what black people have gone through in America. They say 1 out of every 4 black men end up in the prison system at some point in their life. So it's things that I could take and look at and say, you know what? I got a right to be a statistic. I got a right to keep selling drugs. I got a right to rob. I got a right to be, and I could have just stayed on that path, stayed in that mindset. And where would it have gotten me? It would have had me dead or in prison. And so the thing about it is, you may have gone through some things. You may have been violated sexually, which is what a lot of women go through. And you feel that. And it's okay to feel it. It's okay to process it. It's okay to sit with that and see what that has done to you and what it has made you think, what it has made you feel, what it has taken you through in life. And then after you do that, then you have to say, okay, now what can I do with this? How can I heal this and be productive in a way that the offender doesn't get the victory? Because see, in your mind, when you give the offender, the oppressor, when you give those people or that person, when you remain defeated, when you continue to wallow in that pain, you remain defeated and you give them the victory. And now your life becomes a life of defeat, a life of failure, a life of pain, and you take yourself out of the equation of the universe and you render yourself powerless because of constantly repeating what happened to you in your mind, and you're giving it the room to destroy you, where you have to come to a place and to a point to where you say, okay, listen, this happened to me. It hurts beyond words. You cannot understand what happened to me. You cannot understand what happened to me. You have never gone through this. You have never gone through this, but I have gone through this. And then you sit in that space and you spend time in that space, and then you see, okay, who can I help? Who can I help deliver? What can I create that becomes a signal, that becomes a word, that a young girl who is 8 years old can say this word to her guidance counselor, and this word is nationally known. She can wear this color. She can say this word, and it's a system that I create that says, hey, this has happened to me. I can't say it out loud, but I'm telling you, this has happened to me. And see, what can you create? Just like we see movements of like the Me Too movement. And the lady who created it, she followed me on Twitter and we spoke in the DM, and I congratulated her on starting that. See, that right there is something that's dealing with something that's very heavy, but it's a positive action. It's an action in the right direction. So what it does is it allows so many women to have a safe space, to have courage to share their story of what they have gone through. And then it calls the men and the women, because some women were offenders as well, and some men joined the movement and told their story, whether it was a woman did something to them or a man did something to them. But it allowed this space, and then the people who had an offense had to reckon with that, had to be held accountable. And so understand that sometimes when we have broad sweeping terminology, it can give us a reason not to overcome. Because we will see all positivity as toxic. We will see all messages of overcoming as toxic. And we will see a person who is trying to help us get up, who did not go through what we went through, as toxic. Oh, you don't understand what I'm feeling. You don't understand what it's like to be me. So you can't help me. You can't help me get up. And so, and I get it, because we see it as insensitive when a white person says to a black person, hey, get over it. Get over slavery. And that same message can come from someone who cares, and it can come from someone who doesn't care. And it's really the messenger who's carrying it. Now, me as a black man, I'm telling myself, I'll never get over it. I'll always remember it. I'll always take a lesson from it, but I'm going to let it fuel me. I'm going to let it push me instead of hinder me or break me down. And so I had to make a decision. Now, when it's coming from someone and they're being insensitive, and they word it in a way that they're weaponizing their quote unquote motivation, then that is what they mean when they say toxic positivity. But at the same time, you have to make sure that you don't then take and put every message of overcoming in that same box of toxic positivity and then allow yourself to remain negative and keep beating yourself up over it. And so when you hear the phrase that says turn pain into purpose, what that is talking about is you creating from your mistakes. Now, see, I exaggerate my mistakes, to really drive the point home to say, look, I'm really sorry for it. And that's why I'm doing the work that I do. Women come to me and say, Tony, it sounds like you were a dog, and do you ever consider what those women went through, what they went through? Technically, you only can say I sound like a dog because of what I told you. And what I told you is me over exaggerating the situation to make myself out to be even more, to look even worse. Instead of trying to sweep over it and say, oh, it was really nothing, I taken, boy, look, I was nasty. I was a dog. I was out there. So that if one of those young ladies hear it, they can't say, oh, he's trying to act like he was goody two shoes and he never did anything. Oh, he's trying the victim blame. So for me, truthfully, I only had one toxic relationship, and that was right before my marriage. And I was 19 years old when I got in that relationship. I was 21 or 20, almost 21 when I left that relationship. So I was a young man still learning how to become a man. And it was a two-way street in that relationship. So when you hear me say I was a dog and I was out there and I was nasty, it wasn't, I got out of the game at 21 years old. So I hadn't done that much damage. It's just me carrying a message, and I'm throwing myself under the bus to carry this message, to say, listen, I'm admitting to my faults, and hopefully the work that I'm doing will bring healing to anyone that I lied to or misled. But when I was a young man, I got started, I lost my virginity at 15. It wasn't really a game until 18, to where you just trying to, get what you can get. But we were in a society to where if I didn't ask for it, the woman was giving it. The woman wanted to give it on the first night because the women wanted it just as bad as the men. And it just was something that you do. So it wasn't like I was just going and tricking women out their pants, lying, deceiving and all that. It was a two-way street. It was no Bill Cosby action in there. You all right? Or like the gentleman told the other day, I heard they were playing the guy on his podcast, Charlemagne on his podcast, talking about what he did, how they got all drunk or something. He put something in a woman's drink or something like that. It was none of that right there now. None of that craziness, okay? So don't let your mind go too far. And that's what a lot of times women listen to me, they'll think like, they'll take and picture what they went through at 25 or 30 and think that I took a woman through that at 18, 19 years old. But I'm owning up to that to do the work that I'm doing. And so, no, as a married man, I can't go back to every woman from my past and sit down with them and talk with them and try to become their therapist. No, I can't do that. But I could write books about the lessons that I learned from the mistakes that I made. And if they care to read those books, or if they care to watch these videos, then there's healing. If they see that I can change and I can grow, then there's hope to say that men can change, men can grow, so they can have hope that their son or their brother or the man that they talking to can be a real man. So that's my work, and that's how I'm doing. And a lot of times I've talked to my wife about it before and was like, hey, should I go back to my ex before you and apologize? And she said, no. She said, y'all were children. She said, don't nobody even take that serious at 18, 19 years old. The relationships at that age don't even count. It wasn't even real. She's like, no. Now, on the woman's side, it probably could also be because we can take it seriously at that age. And we do remember the things that happened to us at that age because she went through stuff that she remembers. But on the woman's side, it could also be like, don't go open that can of worms. And so I have to do the work that I can do. I could take that and say, well, since I did it, let me just keep on being a cheater. Let me just keep on being a dog. Let me just keep on being a no good man. Since I got mistakes and people don't forgive you for your past, I might as well just keep doing what I was doing. And I could take that approach and do that. But I made a change. I made a decision to be different. Now, I coach so many women who have gone through things that are unspeakable. I written books and helped women publish books that have gone through things that are unspeakable. I mean, the worst of the worst. And the three women I'm thinking about, all three of them became millionaires. All three of them today are healthy and happy. All three of them are married. But yet, for every one of them, there's probably 1,000 women who went through what they went through, and they're living paycheck to paycheck, working for someone else. All three of these women that I'm thinking about started their own company, made millions of dollars in their companies, and got married and worked for themselves. But here's the thing. It was a decision. And when I tell you went through the unthinkable, I'm talking about the unthinkable. You hear me? The worst of the worst. But they took and they made a decision. And I asked them, I said, well, why aren't you angry? Why aren't you mad? And like, why don't you, and the answer pretty much was, that does not serve me. That won't help me. That won't change my life for the better. That won't do anything. The man or the men who hurt me, by me being angry and just accepting, depression or PTSD or all of these different things, that, yes, I go through that. Yes, I go through feelings. Yes, I go through emotion. But me staying there and accepting that, that's not going to make my life better. It's going to make my life worse. And that was their answer. And so they took that pain and they gave that pain purpose, and they turned it into passion. So see, that's how they became millionaires and made millions of dollars working for themselves, because the level of pain that you have experienced, when you take and you channel that with positivity, you are going to receive the equivalent or greater in blessings on the other side. Because the depths, understand this, the depths prepare you for the heights. The deeper you go, the higher you can go. The stronger you become from what you have gone through, the further you will be able to go through. Because so when I talk to my client who is a millionaire, her book is called The Truth Behind the Dare. The Truth Behind the Dare by Deshaun Hardy. I think I think the last name Hardy. It's on Amazon. And The Truth Behind the Dare. And then she wrote book number 2. It's like a business book. But when I was talking to her, she said, and I could say her name because it's public information. The book is out there. And I helped her formulate it and publish it. And so, and I know she'll be happy to mention it to y'all because some of y'all might go buy it. So when I took and I talked to her, and she said, well, because of what I've gone through, I'm not as sensitive as other women who haven't gone through what I've gone through. So I'm kind of numb to a person having an attitude, or a person being blunt, or a person saying something a certain way. And she's saying that has, what I've gone through has given me a tougher skin because I had to overcome that. And so I'm shrewd in business. I'm direct in business. I'm straight to the point when I'm doing deals. And I can be a go-getter because of what I have overcome. It has given me a different edge, a different strength. And she was abused from the age of 2 to the age of 17 by a man close to her. And she went through that and now has turned that, and she owns a hair company where she sells hair products and weaves and things like that, and has earned millions of dollars. And so what she did is she made a conscious decision to say, I can take what I'm feeling and allow it to, and start using pain pills, start smoking weed all day, start doing powder to give my body away, to enter the industry as a sex worker and start working in that industry and getting paid to give my body. I can allow what I've gone through because I've been mistreated like that already. I've been treated like I work in the adult industry. I can take and join that industry and make millions that way. But she made a decision and said, no, instead of doing that, I'm going to be to myself. A man gonna have to work extremely hard to get me to drop my guards. He gonna have to put in work, and I'm going to take and I'm gonna get a good job. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna climb the ladder. And then she had an idea for this business to meet a need that she had. She was looking for some hair. Her person didn't have any hair. She got online, started looking for some hair, found a way to order it wholesale, got the hair, didn't like it, ordered some more, didn't like it, and that turned into a business. When she found hair that she liked, got it at a wholesale price, she was like, I can sell this. Started selling it out of her trunk. People started buying it. Then got a website, had the website ready. Her web designer launched it without her permission. Sales started coming in, and she realized, whoa, I got a business. So just by putting one foot in front of the other, saying, listen, I'm not going to lay down. I'm not going to stay down. I'm going to get up. I'm going to turn this into purpose. I'm going to keep going with my life. I'm not going to let this turn me into a drug addict or to manic depressive. I'm not going to do that, although I feel it. I feel like that. I can do those things, but I'm going to make a different choice. And this is what I want you to understand, is when you make a different choice and you start to utilize your gifts, you start to use your gifts and you make a different choice. And this is what I had to do. I had to get to a place to where I say, okay, I'm going to make a decision to use my gifts. Because here I was, I'm looking at the excuses. I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, this cousin over here that I look up to, he a drug dealer. And he got all these cars. He got all this jewelry. He got all these women. My other cousin over here that I look up to, he doing 3 years in prison. He was making $30,000, $40,000 a week as a dope boy. This guy over here I'm looking up to, he a pro athlete, but he's 6'8". I'm not going to be 6'8", so I can't do what he did in the NBA. And I done lost my football scholarship. Next coach didn't want to let me play on the football team, so now I just got to be a student. I don't really care much for school. It don't do much for me, but now I got these drugs I can sell. So my daddy don't have a college degree. My mama don't have a college degree. So I ain't got to have no college degree. They work for somebody else. They ain't make no whole lot of money. So I ain't got to make no whole lot of money. I could stay where I'm at. I could be overworked and underpaid on the job like they was. Or I could go sell drugs. Tried to be a pro athlete, that didn't work out. Tried to be overworked and underpaid, didn't like that. Went to selling drugs, didn't really like that either. But I was out there full time, 21 hours out of the 24 in a day. I was out there. Tool in my lap. When I say tool in my lap, okay, tool in my lap, quarter pound worth of weed always on me, and I'm serving. I'm serving at the street corner. I'm serving at the schoolhouse, at the college, everything. I remember when I changed my life, I started substitute teaching. I changed my life. I started substitute teaching. I'm at a school working as a substitute teacher, and one of my clients from the streets walked up to me. Hey, Tony, how you doing? I thought the boy was grown. I thought the boy was in college because he looked older, little Caucasian boy. And so he had little red, bumps in his face. So to me, he looked at 18, 19, could have been 21. The boy was in high school. I say, wow. I was out there and didn't even know who my clientele was. But I was out there in the streets, and I could have said, you know what? The government, they had us in slavery. Then they had us separate and unequal. Then they had us integrated and still unequal. They won't give us a chance. They won't let us get a house loan. They mistreat us on our car loans. They discriminate against us. They hate us. And all this stuff is true. They done did studies. I was in sociology class in college, and they recorded it. It probably was in the 80s or could have been early 90s when the studies happened. But they showed, it used to be like ABC News used to do it with the man. He was kind of a rounder, Asian looking guy with glasses. He looked like he was Asian or something like that, and kind of had a little meat on his bones. And I can't remember his name. And they went in to the apartment complex. The person told the black man they didn't have any apartments. Then the white man went in. He said, yeah, we got one left, but they trying to move in. The white guy was like, who are they? He said, you know what I mean? They're trying to move in. One just came in here. He was talking about the black guy. They went to the car lot. The guy told the white man one price, told the black man another price. They went to the jewelry store. They ignored the black man, didn't come up to him. They walked up to the white man. I watched this in college. So that has always stuck with me, and it always have plagued me. And I always go into a store thinking I'm getting treated like a black man, not like a white man, because I seen that happen. And I watched that in college. And that could be a part of their programming, but they could be saying that they doing it to teach us and to be fair and show that this does exist. But they don't understand that when we watch that as black people, that does become etched in our mind, and we start to believe that. Guess what? I could have continued to believe that. But I made a decision, and I say, no, I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm smart. I have gifts. Although I don't have a college degree, I have a lot of smarts. And I remember a lady in my wife's family said, are you ever going to go back to college and get a degree? Because she thought that in order for me to earn a living and to be successful, I need a college degree, because in her mind, that's what defined her. That's what defines success. But for me, I knew otherwise. I knew that the people that we utilize in their system didn't even finish college. The people that's the most wealthy people in the world didn't even finish college. So I knew otherwise. Now, I ain't knocking college if you go to college, if that's for you, but that ain't for everybody. Everybody's brain don't work the same way. For me, it bores me. I could get A's. I got B's when I tried, but it was boring to me. And so guess what? Now I earn 7 figures. 7 figures is $1 million or more in a year. I earn 7 figures without a college degree. And I've created multiple businesses. And just like my mentor.life, that's a tech site. That's a tech project. That's a tech company. I had that idea for years, but I didn't have the wherewithal to get it done. And then eventually my partner, the guy I went to school with, I went to him and he said, okay, let's do it. And he connected me with his team, with people he knew that could walk me through the process with the software development, and we created the site. Now we got going almost 500 coaches on mymentor.life, and we marketing it to hundreds of thousands of people a month, and gonna be millions of people a month. And them coaches are getting booked, and they even more gonna be getting booked, and then eventually everybody gonna be getting booked, Lord willing. And that's something that come from my mind. Now it's no different. It's like care.com. When you go on care.com to get a nanny, which I don't recommend having people come in your house, because you don't know folks like that to have them in your house with your kids or all that. But care.com probably make millions and millions in dollars. But here, and they probably got a whole team that created it. My mentor.life was from my mind, from one mind. But I made a decision to say it's something in this mind and I could do something with it. And I remember sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I got to feed my family and I want to earn while I'm asleep. I don't want to just have to work. I want to earn while I'm asleep. And that's where Tony Gaskins Academy came from. Because I said, if I do a course, I can do the work one time. And instead of trying to spread myself 1,000 different people, 1,000 different ways, I could do the work one time. And while I'm sleeping, somebody could buy the course and be taking the course, and they on the whole other side of the world. And that's exactly what happened. Now we got, I think, over 28,000, maybe 29,000 students. And Tony Gaskins Academy, I built it alone. I don't have a team for that. So the software was built. I bought the software, and I pay for the software monthly. And when you get ready to start a course, let me know. I got an affiliate link I can send you when you get ready to do your course. But I'm going to do a course on how to create a course so you know how to do it the right way and how to price it and everything. I'm going to shoot that course here soon. But I took and I paid for the software. And this was after trying to build my own software. And me and my partner from high school, who was a white guy, spent $18,000 and the site crashed in 2 months. Fortunately, the courses had done $30,000 in sales, $30,000 in sales, so it kind of paid for itself with a little bit of profit. So then I found this software that these people, the software I use, they just raised another $22 million. So I realized, okay, yeah, I can't compete with that. I should have just went with them from the start, because they got some money where they at. I don't know who they know, but where they raising some money. So they done built this thing out. And if you on Tony Gaskins Academy, you see how it works. It works smoothly. When people think it don't work, it's because of a mistake on their end. They put a typo in their email address. But if you sign up correctly, it works smooth. If your phone got data, if you're on your phone trying to watch the video, you gotta have data, gotta have internet. It works smooth and no issues. And this site, it can generate, and the site has done high 6 figures, closing in on 7 figures, meaning $1 million. Tony Gaskins Academy with 29,000 students from this mind that is black, that is a male, that is supposed to be a statistic, that was discriminated against, that was lied about, that was marginalized. Everything that I've gone through and every excuse that I could use, not excuse, every reason, it ain't no excuse. Racism is real. Discrimination is real. So there ain't no excuse. That's a reason that I could be a degenerate, that I could be defective, that I could be toxic out here and saying, I'm doing this because they did this. I'm doing this to the world because they did this to me and to my people. So I'm finna wreak havoc. I could say that, but I say no. I'm finna beat you at your game. I'm finna come in your world, the tech world, the software world, the online, the laptop money. I'm finna take my knowledge, turn it into a course, and I'm gonna earn a living in your world that you created, that you did not create for people who look like me. When I went to a tech summit, it was no black people in tech that was on the stage talking. No black people in tech that was on the stage talking. It was white and Asian. And here I am out there, founder, my mentor.life, and got other ideas that I'm gonna bring to fruition too. But just got to find and meet the right people, because a lot of people don't do what they say they could do, and they just in it to take your money, and they build something that's defective, that don't work, because they just barely went to a little bit of school or didn't go to nobody's school. But if they know more than you, they could get your money and then say, oh, well, this is what happens with tech. That's what the people who I lost $18,000 with, oh, well, this is what happens with tech. No, you built an old raggedy project. And see, me, I was ready to take it to the streets. You hear me? But I had to say, no, Tony, you done left that. You done left that lifestyle. Let these people live. You hear me? Somebody was finna be short a family member. I was finna wipe them off the face of the earth, because I almost had to catch myself. And I made a decision. I say, okay, Tony, you've changed. I was just telling my wife the other day about a situation. I had a car up in South Carolina. And I said, baby, listen now, I'm going to tell you the truth. If my car gone, if that man ain't got my car, if that man departed my car or sold my car, it's finna be some damage done. There was last month. I still struggle with the old me. I still struggle with the statistics, with what society says this is what black men become because of slavery, because of lack of opportunity, because of what we done put y'all through. I still struggle with it. And she said, no, Tony, no, absolutely not. I said, no. I say, so you telling me you gonna stand in the way of me going up there and give me some rounds off? And she was like, yeah. Now see, me personally, I was dead serious now, but I needed my wife. She had to remind, look, she said, Tony, that's so stupid. Look how far you come. Look how much you've built. And you even considering something like that. It's just like the boy who, it's just like the man who with Sweeties on the show on the boy who got arrested for either, was it attempted murder or was it murder of his nephew? And I read that he said he put that hit out on him because he thought his nephew stole $200,000 from his mama. This man raised in money. Mama owned this. They got a TV show, but you ain't got no reason to be no thug. Same like me, but it's because of what you've been conditioned, because of the place you played in the world. It became us against them. And then it became us against ourselves because of the spiritual warfare, because of the mindset that you feel like being a thug, being tough, shooting if you got a disagreement is in the DNA of a black man. You feel like that's in the DNA of a black man. You feel like that you're not a black man unless you a shooter or a fighter. I'm talking about with them hands. I ain't talking about no overcomer. I'm talking about really putting them hands on somebody. And so you feel like that, and then you feel less than if you the type that's gonna walk away, that's gonna be the bigger person. But see, that's a war, that's a battle you got to go through, but it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. And so when you look at life, you see people who have gone through different things. I read about the young lady. We don't know what she's gone through. Who is making $17 million a month on that website that is a nasty website. It's a nasty website. People on there doing ungodly things, and men, and I guess some women too, but mostly men, nasty, perverted men, going on there and paying a subscription to watch these women twerk or work or do what they do. And this one sister out there making $17 million a month. Now, I was curious to go see what will earn you $17 million a month, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't want that tracing my phone and tracking my phone, and I'm showing somebody my phone and then the site pop up. I'm like, oh, Mr. Gaskins, okay, all right, Mr. Gaskins was okay. I thought he was somebody different. So, and I tell you the God heaven truth, I have not visited that site. I ain't even gonna say the name of the site. And don't y'all put it in the comments. Do not put the name of the site in the comment. My goodness, I got to block you, okay? Don't get blocked. Just Google it. Making $17 million a month, and the young lady might come up. Now listen, I guarantee you that there is a woman who have gone through very similar events in life that this woman has gone through. And this woman over here have gone through very similar events in her life and has decided to go a different route, to earn millions. Might not be 17 in a month, but to earn millions running her business. Actually, ironically, and so that's the thing. It's about choice. Because at the end of the day, what we have to understand, and you call it toxic positivity or whatever you want to call it, what we have to understand is if your mind is working, if you have not been diagnosed and put on medication, or you're not in a asylum, which none of that. Well, the asylum. Well, I don't know. Could be watching the videos in the asylum. But if your mind and you're making daily decisions every day, you're making decisions about life, who you're going to bank with, where you're going to live, what phone service you're going to have, what car you're going to drive, you're making decisions about your life, then you have the wherewithal. You have the ability to make a decision that may be more painful because it may be calling you to overcome. See, the decision to forgive is not easy. The decision to forgive America, to forgive the world, to forgive your offender, your attacker, the decision to forgive is not easy. It takes some deliberation. It takes some prayer. It takes some thought. It takes some courage. It's not easy to forgive and to win in spite of, to go forward despite what you have gone through. That is not easy. It's not easy to do, but it's a decision. Now see, and we can't judge anybody. So I'm not judging the young lady for making the decision because everybody has their own path. God may deliver her at 40. God may deliver her at 45 or 50. My wife was showing me this page on Instagram called Humans of New York. And the lady on there was telling her story of when she used to turn tricks and she used to strip. And she was a young lady, 20s, 30s. And now she probably in her 70s or 80s, and she telling her story. She living a different life now, of course. And the young man who run the page done raised over $2 million for her to take care of her medical bills and her living expenses for the rest of her life. So you never know when a person has a reckoning with God and when they're gonna come over. So don't ever feel like because I give a hard truth or tough love that I'm judging. I ain't judging. I'm just making a clear point that some people choose to allow what they've gone through to send them down the rabbit hole, to send them down a whole nother path that could bring more pain and more toxicity and more confusion. And then some people address and assess what they've gone through and choose to go down another path that may be less money, may be harder, may be more painful, but they go down another path and it pays off, but what they have is peace of mind. And so it's all about how you respond to what has happened to you. And there will be people who will be turned over to a reprobate mind. They will be turned over to a constant state of self-loathing and self-sabotaging behavior. They will be turned over to a state of mind that no matter what you say, they cannot hear you. No matter what I say, they will always be in a state of sulking and pouting and depression and feeling bad for themselves as a conscious choice. Now, some people, it is a brain defect to where it is a mental health issue and they have to go get clinical help and get medication, and that is all debatable. People debate on that all the time. I'm not going to get into that debate. But if you hear, then you're not that far. You're not in that space. So don't think that applies to you. Those people, they working with their psychiatrists, psychologists, and a lot of those people put people on medication. I've worked with those individuals as a support, as a supporter, in a group home, and I've seen the medication and had to administer the medication for those who have a issue in their mind, to where I see the side effects of the medication. So that's a whole nother situation. I'm talking to you who's here, who you have a reason to be angry. You have a reason to be depressed. You have a reason to be down. You have a reason to be a degenerate. You have a reason to sell your body. You have a reason to be promiscuous. You have a reason to steal and to scam and to do illegal activity and to fraud. You have a reason to do those things because your reason is what you've gone through. Your reason is that you are a product of your environment. Your reason is that you've suffered the wrong, you've gone through a lot, and this is the byproduct of what you have suffered. You have that reason, but you hear, and you hear for a reason. You hear because there is a calling on your life. You hear because you can turn your pain into purpose. You're here because you have a book in you. You have a company in you. You have a course in you. You're here because you're a mentor, and you can help other people from what you have gone through. That is why you are here. Think it not strange that you here and that you got to this point in the video, 48 minutes and 16 seconds. Think it not strange that you are here. So yes, everybody has excuses or reasons or explanations. Everybody has something that they can hang their hat on, that they can hold on to and say, this is why I am the way I am. This is why I'm going to do what I got to do. This is why I get to sell drugs. This is why I get to prostitute, be an escort, strip, whatever. This is why I get to scam and do fraud, because I went through this. Everybody has something that they could hold on to as a reason why they are living toxic, misinformed, misguided. Everybody. But you're here to reckon with what you have gone through, what you have experienced, and to make a change. That's why you're here. You're here so that you can see the big picture, so that you can process what you've suffered, so that you can see now how can you turn this into positivity and make a life out of it, even though it feels like all life was taken from you. That's why you're here. And so that's what you got to understand, is that don't label everything toxic positivity when somebody is telling you to get up, to get back in the fight, and to keep going. That this is spiritual warfare, and yes, you've been through a lot, but don't let that hold you down. Don't let that hold you back. Don't stay down and wallow in it. Don't continue to look for a reason to hold on to your pain. Stop looking to argue and fighting for your misery. We have people that's fighting for their misery. They fighting for their misery. They fighting for their pain to say, listen, let me hurt. Let me be angry. Let me hate America. Let me hate the white man. Let me hate the black man. Let me hate men. Let me hate women. It's people that's fighting for their misery. You trying to say, hey, get up, get back in the fight. Turn your pain into purpose. Yeah, you done made mistakes. Admit to your mistakes, but don't let your mistakes become your identity. And see, a lot of people who throwing out toxic positivity is they want the people like myself who have made mistakes to just wallow in the mistakes and to sit and to shut up and to be quiet and to say, you know what? Well, you know what? I just ain't gonna help nobody. I ain't gonna help nobody because I used to be a dog, and because I used to be a womanizer and toxic and abuser. I'm just gonna take my lumps in life, and I'm just gonna sit down and shut up, and I'm just gonna be poor the rest of my life because I deserve to be poor because of what I did in my past. And you know what? I'm not gonna help anybody. And because I used to, lie and cheat in that relationship, I'm not gonna give away the game to women, because who am I to give away the game to women when I used to play the game and I used to be a cheater and a dog? I'm just gonna sit here and just say nothing. That's what the person who talking about toxic positivity, that's what the ones who are using that and weaponizing that's what they want people who have made a mistake to do. But no, you done made mistakes. Yeah, okay, I got clients who used to do fraud. I got clients who used to strip. I got clients who used to be prostitutes. I got clients who used to be robbers, who used to be breaking and entering into houses. Got clients who used to do armed robbery. Got clients who used to sell drugs. Got clients who used to be abusive to their partner, to their children, to their siblings, to their friends and family. Listen, everybody have mistakes. Your mistake does not have to become your identity. You can get up. You can change your life. You can move forward. You can teach others how not to make the mistakes that you've made. I had a client who she used to do fraud. I said, hey, you could create a course on 10 ways we can protect ourselves from fraud. She said, oh yeah, I could tell you that in my sleep, because there's so many things that people do that they don't even realize that they is so easy for their identity to be stolen. I say, that's your course. And charge $19.99 for it. And so some people, they look at that as unfair. Well, how you used to do wrong and then now get to come and make $1 million doing right? That ain't fair. That ain't fair. Listen, life ain't fair if that's what you think. But if somebody make a decision to do right, it's like the guy, Jordan Belfort. The Wolf of Wall Street. This man made millions on Wall Street, illegal, doing stuff illegal, got caught, went to prison. Now this man to come out and making millions legally, doing YouTube and podcasts and writing books, making millions legally. And it's like, wow. But what that shows is it's a decision. You could decide to do wrong, or you could decide to do right. You could get a whole lot of money doing wrong. You could get a whole lot of money doing right. You could decide to be a prostitute. You could decide to be a preacher. Is prostitutes making millions? Is preachers making millions? Now, is preachers doing the right thing and making millions? And it ain't right for us to say, oh, they don't deserve millions. That millions may be 10% of what their church is grossing. So it's equivalent to them managing the house of the Lord and them serving and them working. And if they heart pure, God did not call them to be broke. The Bible say, do not muffle the mouth of the ox that tread the field. The Bible tell you that the Bible tell you that the pastors that they deserve to be paid, and that don't knock them for being paid. It said in biblical way. But yeah, you got scam artists out there, but you got pure people out there too, who doing the work of the Lord, and they making a good living. See, me personally, because of the way our society is, I can't even show my living. I mentioned on this video, and there's people gonna get mad about that. Oh, I was supporting him because I thought he was struggling. Oh my goodness, let me call Cash Out. I'm finna call Cash Out and get that $10 back. Hello, Cash Out. I sent a payment to money sign Tony Gaskins. Can you reject that right now? Yes, because he just said he makes 7 figures. They reject that right now. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? But that's the world that we live in. That's the world we live in. And then some people, they'll look at it and say, oh, okay. All right. I see if God did it in his life. I'm finna sow. I'm finna sow into it. Like, okay, I'm finna watch this video. Oh, I'm finna let the ad play. Go ahead, brother. I'm gonna let the ad play for 15 seconds. Ad. All right, the ad over. Okay, there you go, brother. And I done seen people put that in the comments. Say, Tony, I'll let the ad play. Get yours, brother, because you helping me. You serving me. You ain't got to give me these videos. You could be with your family right now. You give me this video. I say that person right there, they going to win. It ain't about because what they doing for me. Because I might get 10 cents for you watching that ad. I don't know what I get for it. But because I ain't broke it down like that. But it ain't about because what you doing for me. I just could see your mindset. Because you doing it for somebody else who might consider themselves my competition. I ain't got no competition because I don't compete. But you might do it for somebody else. And I ain't jealous of that. But I know you gonna win because that's your mindset. Because your mindset is abundant. Your mindset not scarcity. Your mindset you not competing. Your mindset you want to see other people blessed. Your mindset is you want to sow on good ground. See, we'll go and sow on bad ground. We'll see somebody, we'll go and sow on bad ground, and we'll buy clothes from a racist company after we know they're racist. We sowing on bad ground because the clothes look good and we want to wear it. But then we'll see good ground, and it's all right if you sowing on bad ground if it's benefiting you and you like that shirt. Like this, the founder of Lululemon might be racist. I don't know. I'm not doing investigative journalism. I like the shirt. I like the way it fit. Like the way it feel. Okay, you racist. That's between you and God. I look good in this shirt. Okay, so I ain't worried about that. This serving me. But we'll see somebody who got good ground, and we'll say, you know what? I'm not buying the product because I'm not finna make them another $1. Because they want to make $1, and then next thing I know, I got to pull up beside the light and see them in their foreign car after I done bought their product at my last $1. I am not supporting them. But then go right in Gucci. As soon as you get $300, oh yeah, do y'all have a wallet? And Gucci like, will you get out of here trying to get the least expensive thing in here just so you can say you got Gucci? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Here's our wallets right here. But that's what they were thinking. Yes, here's our wallets right here. Okay, this is $300. This is $400. This is in your budget. Okay, all right. That's what they were thinking. But then, okay, and they could be racist. But then we right over here. See somebody good? Nope. It's mindset. You determine your life based on your mindset. Now I need to be done by an hour, but I'm still talking right now. So I've never gone over an hour on a video that's not a live video. But today we might go over an hour. You have to shift your mindset. And when you shift your mindset, you're going to realize that you could have been poor as a child and you could be wealthy as an adult. You could have been broken and battered and abused as a child, and you can be healthy and whole as an adult. You can change your mindset. You can become what others have only dreamt about. You can be their dream in reality. People can look at you and see. My daddy tell me all the time, he says, son, I just never imagined that you could be doing what you're doing at the level you're doing it. It could be real, but it's a mindset. I made a decision to not be a statistic. When I was trying to be a statistic, then I made a decision to not be a statistic. Hey, I made a decision and God showed up and showed out and showed me that I could be whatever I feel like I could be, whatever I say I could be. All right, the spirit just left the room. The Lord say stay under an hour today. God bless you.